Hey there YouTube, it's that day again. The One Piece chapter has dropped, and we're here to talk about it. Frisbee Friday and you guys, the One Piece stands. So let's get in it. Cue the title card! We're starting this chapter out with a continuation of our Gang Beige All My Family arc, entering the country of battle-scarred Dressrosa, which, as we know, the area is scarred because Luffy just beat up Doffy, and all the other Straw Hats beat up all the other Doflamingo pirates, and it was a huge battle, and basically the whole country was destroyed. And it's funny because it looks like he's getting ready to fight when he goes in there. So we'll see who approaches him from Dressrosa. Could be Lola, could be the other people. I'm kind of thinking it's Blackbeard. I'm kind of feeling it's Blackbeard and all the others, and they're hunting Luffy down in them. So we'll see what it is, but I have a strong hunch that it's Blackbeard. We're starting page off 1, going back 2 days to the prep of the final battle when Kinemon was talking with all of the other people. He was reconfirming everything. He's talking with the Yakuza bosses, telling them this is where we're going to meet, this is where we're going to do this. We don't have very much time left. Like, let's be prepared, let's work hard, and let's do it right. Then you go down to Frankie. And Frankie is reconfirming with everybody in Curry that he wants the ships ready to carry 5,000 people. Now, I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure he wanted them to carry double their amount, so at least 9,000. So I'm curious what happened to those other 4,000. Are those ships somewhere else waiting, perhaps? Or are they going to be used for somebody else? We don't know. We'll find out. But it's curious, isn't it? And we just got all the other shipwrights like, yeah, we can do it. Like, we got to move them, though. Let's start doing that soon. Because they got to get all the ships in position without anybody seeing it. Then we get to page 2 with Usopp. And he's talking about how they're going to leave the Itachi Harbor to go to Braided Hat Village. And then to get there, they're just going to sail on the Sunny. So the Sunny's off hidden, and it's certainly not been attacked or anything. So we'll definitely see them on that in this chapter and going. Wink, wink. Then we've just got the Minks. Yeah, thanks for everything. And it's funny because they're calling them amazing shipwrights. So what that probably means is that these people in Wano are also very good shipwrights, which is kind of odd to me because Wano doesn't need to leave. Why are they good at building ships? If they're a closed-off country and they don't leave, why should they know how to build ships? Maybe because they've been building the world government's ships? Maybe. Maybe not. It's just a thought. But that's just something that bothered me. Because why would they know? That doesn't really make sense. They're a closed-off country. They shouldn't know how to make ships. Then on the bottom of the page, we get back to Hyoguro, who is talking with the inmates in Udon, talking about how they'll bring swords from Ringo, and that to bring whatever armor that we have, because they've got apparently an abundance of it, which I don't know why they would have. I guess they're selling these items to other people, but I don't see why they'd have an abundance of the arms in the prison. That just seems a little weird, but whatever. And then we start cutting over to other villages in Wano that are also being led by other leaders of this revolution. So we start page 3 off with what looks like a man in a braided crown. I can't tell if that's his hair or if it's his crown, but we'll find out. But he might be somebody of higher nobility in Wano, showing that not just the lowest class are unhappy here. Many people are unhappy. But we probably won't get more because it's just a random back character. He, though, brings up that rushing to meet would not be a very good idea, as huge crowds will draw attention. which makes sense. But I guess it is a party, so I feel like people would group up, but whatever. They know the country better than I do. And then they start going over the Shogun's procession and how he's going to go and where he's going to go. And that's interesting to us because we actually get to see on the map, like, they're going to go through here and then they're going to go across like that. And we can see that all these areas are linked by huge bridges. So that's pretty interesting because I don't think we ever saw that before. The bridges that have actually physically connect each area. We then also cut over to just other of the leaders of the revolution. It looks like we've got some more samurai. We have some minks, even more samurai. This guy's always interested me, the guy who kind of looks like a cat mink. He's got the bells down there. I think I should have a picture of him put up, but I'll see what I can do. He's always interested me, but we'll see if we even get individual fights with them. I doubt it, because that would make the battle enormous, but we'll see. Then we cut over to one of my favorite parts, Curry Braided Hat Village. And we cut back to Luffy and Brook and Chopper, and they are getting samurai armor. The interesting part is this armor should be the armor that we've seen on, I think it was chapter 310 for the cover page, which actually back then even displayed us Odin's symbol, which we didn't know anything about it back then. And Luffy's just calling out, Kaido will cut down that scoundrel to ribbons! And he's all decked out in his armor, and Chopper's decked out in armor, and so is Brook. Now, another thing that's interesting to me is if you look at the pants and ignore the bird in the symbol, that's Luffy's devil fruit sign, isn't it? I'm almost certain. Because it takes his body shape when he uses Gear 4th. Or not his body shape, but it colors his haki in. I think we'll have to find out, but I think that symbol is like Luffy's devil fruit. So we'll see if that has anything else to do with it. And I love that Robin compares them to 3 beetles. That's just because we've seen that Luffy loves beetles. So that's just a hilarious thing. We then cut over to what's probably going to be the biggest speculation of this chapter. And that is Robin heard Orochi himself saying, the entrance to Onigashima is winter. Now, this is going to cause so many arguments. It's going to cause so many debates. It's going to cause problems left and right. Because people are going to say it means this. People are going to mean it says this. It's just going to be up in everything. For me, what I first thought when I heard is winter, I thought of snow. And then immediately went to, well, maybe you have to figure out how to get in from the top. But I don't know how that would work, so I'm just going to wait and see. Because that was the only thing I could personally think of. I'm not going to claim all these other things, because that's not what I thought. I thought of getting in somehow from the top. / snowing, because that's what I think of when winter. Then we get, I don't know if we've ever had the minks named, like some of these other ones, but we get 3 of Inuyasha's musketeers named. It looks like Shishilian, we knew who Shishilian was, we knew that one. Consulate and Giovanni. I like that last one. So that's 3 names now, 3 more minks 2 more minks, because we knew Shishilian. I know we knew that one. So it's always nice to get world building and more characters named, because the more we know, the more we can speculate and the more we can infer. So it's always good to get that stuff. Also, just want to throw this in here since we got a full view of it. I checked Nami's outfit and I checked the girl's outfit from the page ago. They are not the same kimono. That was not Nami getting ready and hiding right before the Fire Festival. It was somebody else, unless if she changed, because her kimono has solid black flowers, whereas in the girl in the last chapter, hers had a white space in the center. So they're not the same person. Just want to throw that out there so we can have that confirmed. And then we get Wanda talking about the Sulong and saying how It's basically going to be up to chance. Like, we might be able to use it, we might not, because if there's clouds, well, then we're screwed. And then we get something that's kind of sad to me, because we get Luffy looking off, wondering what's going on. And on the next page, it shows us that Luffy is like this because he's worried about Jinbei. He sees that, or he's talking about how Big Mom is here. Big Mom is in Wano. But why isn't Jinbei? Now, I'm going to cut immediately over to this because we know Jinbei's here. We know he is. You can't convince me personally he's not. Not right now. There's too much information showing that he is here. We've seen what is a definite sighting of him in chapter 955 and what I think might be a sighting of him in this one. That's 2 times we've possibly seen Jinbei in Wano. This is something that I am very passionate on and what I believe in. He's in Wano. He is. We also, I think it was 2 chapters ago, we have a moment where Kinemon is yelling into the Dendenmushi, or the smart snail, and he's yelling, Jinbeimon in Kibi. Like, yelling to him, like, hey, we thought you were there, like, are you there? So then we get back to Luffy and Zoro talking about how they only got away because of Jinbei. And Luffy said he settled his debts, like, he can join. And Zoro's like, yeah, we'll totally welcome him. Like, if he's ready to come, he's ready to come. And then this is interesting because, to me at least, because Luffy specifically says he's still got time. He'll come if he's still alive. I think that matter of time is going to play into somehow. I think Lady Otoko's power maybe went to the daughter. Maybe. We'll see. But I feel like they specifically worded time there to be specific. And then we cut back to the flower capital, outside the gates of Ebisu Town. And I actually had to look this up because I couldn't remember because it was that long ago now. Ushimitsu Kozo's here, also known as the Midnight Boy. This was the person who, when Yasui sacrificed himself, this is who he claimed to be to gain a public execution, to use that as his platform, so that way he could get his message out. Now in this, we're very clearly getting the reassurance and the confirmation that yes, he was lying to get his name out there. The real thief is still out there, and they came to Ebisu Town this time to give them money, so that way they can buy clean water to drink during the fire festival. They don't want sake, they don't want food, they just want clean water. That's it. But, of course, things aren't always good. We cut immediately over to see that Curry is being attacked by the 100 Beast Pirates. Hold'em is currently there, which he's the lion head guy, if you don't remember. Hold'em is there just harassing the people, trying to find out what's going on, like where everybody is. Because he claims that they burned the mountains of the mountain bandits to a crisp, but they never came out for retaliation, which from the sounds of it, sounds like that's something that happens quite often, is that the mountain bandits usually come out and they fight them. And then we have some people talking about, like, oh crap, like, is this why they're stealing food? Like, do they have that many people? Like, Jesus. And then they yelled at him for whispering. It was just funny to me. Then we have Osuru, Kinemon's wife, who comes out and she tells them, like, I'll show you, like, what's going on as long as you don't hurt these people. And basically she was going to sacrifice herself to lead these people away, to give them time to get away so that way they could not die. However, this immediately backfires on her because the citizens all confess, we were not letting you cover for us. Like, no. We had one dream left, and it was to have our bellies full one more time before we die. And we got that dream. So we're ready. Like, we don't need you to fight for us. And then we cut away, which later we find out that the village was burned down, but we'll get to that when we get to it. Then we jump forward another day. So now it's the day before the final battle. And what's cool is we were stated back in Pell that there are very few devil fruits that gift you the power of flight. And we see right here that if your smile is good enough, you will be given the gift of flight. It looks like we have a butterfly, a hawk, and an angel. The angel one is kind of interesting, actually, because I wonder if that's a smile or somebody else, because I don't see any other aspects other than the angel wings, and usually they have more aspects, but I mean, well, what more could you put on them? But still, something might be up with that guy. And then it says, it's here. Just do what I told you to do. And then we pan down to seeing the Sunny. They found the Sunny. Yeah, I talked about it. They found the Sunny in a cave. And they were given the order to blow up the cave specifically. Now, what's interesting is they're talking to somebody and saying, just do what I told you to do. And they blew it up. Now, the blow up itself looks like it's in a past memory. So I don't think they are talking to Orochi when they're discussing this. I think they're talking to Kuroshiro, who's telling them, just blow up the, cave formation, seal it in there, don't let him do anything. And they're like, we can blow it up, and they're like, no, just do what I told you to do. And so they blow it up, and we are led, from what it looks like, we are led to believe that they just either A, blew up the Sunny, or B, sealed it away. I don't think either of these are what happened. What I think happened is that we were given the illusion that the Sunny was attacked, when in reality, the Sunny has been coated, and it is about to go underwater. I think that we are getting Whitebeard Part 2. That is how they are going to get into this. What's going to happen is the people are going to set sail. Then they will get past the storm. They will be met up on one side with all of their army. They will be met up with on the other side by the Straw Hat Grand Fleet. And then from below will rise up our main force on the Sunny. Just like they did in Marineford. It won't be exactly the same, but it's going to be a homage to that. It's going to be that's going to be how they get in, because they got to give us a big entrance, and I feel like that's how it's going to be. It's going to be like the meme that they made with all the people arriving from Infinity War. Infinity War. And I'm just so pumped, because I can't wait to see how they do this. But anyways, we cut back, and we now see what Orochi is doing also to destroy, or to stop the rebellion. And that is those great bridges that I think we were just introduced to earlier today are being destroyed. From what looks like the only way to get from one island to the other island is being destroyed. And even the citizens are super confused and worried about this. One of them even brings up that this will even prevent Orochi from reaching the coast. So I'm curious to see how the procession will work, because from the what we saw, we just saw arrows moving. But it looks like that they might have actually done something different. And then he's also destroying all of the ships in all of the other harbors. My guess is he pulled out every single ship that he knew was his and under their control, and any other ship that was left, they blew it up, because they were not risking that ship coming to fight them, no matter what they did. So that would make sense, because that could be a lot of the stuff from the other, like, ships that were all just scattered around, and parts could have gone from the storm up onto the beach. It doesn't have to mean that those were all our ships destroyed right there. What's also interesting is then on the next page, we're learning that Orochi's information net is pretty good. He is hearing about how all of the samurai have come from 20 years in the past. Now, this is what's really interesting, because he's just learning this. So whoever also was learning this would have just known that this happened based off of what the others are telling. So what I believe it is there is no traitor. There is no actual person betraying them. There is a fake betrayer who's feeding information to Orochi that makes Orochi think he's doing his side, but he's not. He's not on his side. And that is the obvious of Kuroshiro. And I think that Momo's sister is feeding Kuroshiro information, who is then feeding that information to Orochi, who is then doing whatever Orochi feels he needs to do. But the point is that he thinks that Kuroshiro is on his side when he's not. And he's going to betray him at the last minute, and that's who Denjiro is going to be. Because the battle is here. The battle is starting, and we still don't know who Denjiro is. That means we have to know who it is. We have to have seen him already somewhere. They wouldn't let us get this close to the battle without the last person. And I think it has to be somebody that none of the last people have seen yet either. Which could be Kuroshiro, because the only person who's actually seen him is Zoro. And Zoro even mentioned, like, wow, this guy's strong. Who else is strong? Shiradoji's pretty strong. Inuyashi's pretty strong. All of the other sheaths are pretty strong. It would make sense. So that's what I think. And then we have Orochi talking about what Yasui's plan was, but I kind of went over that already, that he faked it out by using the platform, and he just made him into a joke, because now nobody wants to believe Orochi that all this stuff is happening, even though Orochi said it was, because Yasui was like, ha 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 ha, like, I got you guys, and now he can't gain people to believe him. But it's okay, because he even says he doesn't care, like, mock my commands all you want, I can make you do it. Which some people are probably going to assume that means Kaido. I'm still on that he has a specific power. Maybe his devil fruit lets him change the weather. I don't know. But he physically himself has to be able to do something, I feel. He can't be not as powerful as them and not be able and stay this strong. Orochi has to have something that keeps him up also. And I think it's his devil fruit. But we'll just have to wait and see. An interesting shot. We get all of the harbors that are around, and that all of the bridges have been destroyed. So nobody can get to and from anywhere, and that the people will not be able to rally their troops with them. So we'll see how that works, but I don't think it's going to matter. Orochi then is yelling at nothing, but he's yelling at the ghosts, like, you guys think you can get me? Like, I'll make you taste every bit of desperation before the end. Like, I refuse to let you even have the slightest thought that you can have revenge. And just like that, we're done. We cut back to modern day. The Ugan Tokage Harbor. And we're going right back to where we were last chapter, and Inuyasha is trying to get the ship in the water. He is like, we just gotta go. Like, and everybody else is like, this is suicide. We have to wait. We have to stop. We can't do this. And then Kinemon, I feel like something in Kinemon at this point just snaps. because he starts yelling about how there's nothing that they can do and that they waited for this time. And he even brings up that the next time that they could do this is they have to wait till next year. They have to wait a whole year from now until the next Fire Festival, and he doesn't think that they'll be able to stay hidden that long. And the rebels will be crushed within that time because they'll get found out, they'll get crushed, their shot is gone, and they should have taken it before. And everybody else is kind of thinking about it, and they're all kind of agreeing, and they're all just like, yeah, I mean, we got nothing else left. If we don't fight here, what are we going to do, you know? And then we also get confirmed here that, I said it before, but Ebisu Town was burned to the ground. They razed it, they burned it, everything was destroyed because they stole the food. And Kinemon even mentions that that's his wife's town, and he still knows he has to go. And then we get to one of the saddest moments, which is they will not let Momonosuke go too. They said he has to stay, he has to survive. If they let him die, it would be a shame on all of them. This scene right here, and I want to see if I can get a big picture of it up. I'll try. This scene right here is my biggest reasoning for why I don't think any of the scabbards are the betrayers. Every one of their emotions is raw and pure. With the exception, I guess, of Okiku, because we can't see her inside of her armor, but whatever. We've seen her sad before, so. The point, though, is that none of these guys are the betrayer. The betrayer, to me, is the 9th, the final one that we have not seen yet, Denjiro, who is Kuroshiro, who, while is betraying them now, is actually feeding Orochi information so he could react to it in another way and then make the plan set in motion in his way. The next page, we get back to they have decided that they are going, and that they are going to go through. And right as they're doing this, Kinemon starts to have a flashback himself of Kozuki Oden telling them the reason that the borders are closed is because of the Kozukis. And while I think that's true, I don't think that's 100% true. I think that the Kozukis sided with the old civilization, and they opposed the world government. And then when the world government was clear that they were going to win, the people of Wano were like, well, we're not going to be a part of this world. We're just going to shut ourselves in here. And they closed the doors, knowing that they had weapons to protect themselves from the world government, but knowing that they alone could not defeat the world government. It is also said that when the Kozuki Odins reopen their borders, that the tides of the world will change in some way or another. And what I think it's going to be is the weapon that they have been holding is going to be turned against the government by the end of this. Whether it's Kaido, Orochi, Big Mom, Luffy, Blackbeard, because Blackbeard's probably going to show up. Whoever shows up is going to take that weapon and he's going to aim it at the world government. And that's going to start part of the conflict, which is going to escalate and escalate and escalate until we get that final war that we are promised. Then, for the last chapter, we had probably the most disappointing but also happy moments of this chapter. We see, from another angle, the one and only legend walking in, Kozuki Oden. Now, we don't see him outside of his silhouette. He is still silhouetted in all 3 parts that he appears in this chapter. And I'm starting to get scared because I'm starting to think that they may have just blanked him to blank him. We could be speculating for nothing. It could just be that he could be like Noland. It could just be a normal guy who just looks like a super buff dude, but is super good. We'll have to wait. Or it could be Nolan, like a family member of No, it won't be. But wouldn't that be something? But we get another shot of whatever that is on his back. Now, they're leading us to look like it's what I'm assuming is the ropes, like what the Sound Ninja have on Naruto, which is just the big ropes tied into a big bow to look whatever. I think it's wings. I don't know why. I don't know how. I don't know if it would be a devil fruit, but I think it's wings. There has to be a reason why he's not out of the silhouette yet. He's been probably the longest silhouetted character I think we've ever seen so far. And that, like, at least for shown and being hyped. And that goes for the Yonko. Even the Yonko, I don't think we got this many different pictures of them silhouetted. And every time, he just keeps getting buffer and buffer, too. That's another thing that's interesting. And none of them want him back. They're all mad. They're all super upset that he's returned. They're yelling, "Hide your women! Hide your children! Another failed voyage!" And it's really interesting. Because they all love him, but it's shown that when he first got back, they didn't. Which makes sense, because he left, so he would have to have come back. But still, I want to see more of this, and I'm really, really hoping that next week, because there's no break, thankfully, next week we get another Odin flashback, and next week, hopefully we'll finally get that silhouette uncovered. I want it uncovered so badly. But we're just going to have to wait. And with that, that's the end of this chapter. Chapter 959. No break, so next week will be chapter 960. That means we are 40 chapters away from 1,000. Oh my god. I don't even want to know what's going to happen then. Probably something huge, but we'll have to wait and see. He's going to start dragging stuff out till that point too when we get near it. But that's like a year away, so I think we're fine for now. Anyways, I hope you liked the video. This will be my second One Piece chapter review. As I said, I'm done with the live reactions. I do have an announcement though, because some of you may not follow me on Twitter or on Instagram. I have changed my schedule, and I will be trying to stick to it as much as I can. So the way that things are going to work from now on, at least until further notice, is every Saturday and Sunday are going to be my streaming days from 10 p.m. or whenever I get home from work, because sometimes it's later, until 2 a.m. Saturday and Sunday. Mondays will be an alternating video uploaded. It'll be different every week. Some weeks it'll be about a game, some weeks it'll be about anime, some weeks it'll be about a movie, some weeks it could be a podcast, some weeks it could just be an announcement video. It'll always change. It's just whatever really I feel like putting up that week. I reserve the right to do whatever videos I want. I could put 2 in a row for all I care. Or 2 of the same, like one anime one week and then another anime the next week. I'll try not to do that, but I'm saying like it's whatever I can push out at that time. And then Thursdays, of course, will be One Piece days. From here on forward, given the event that we are in a break, we will get a speculation chapter or a theory chapter that I'll do, or a discussion. I'll plug something else into it. We'll figure something out. Or maybe we'll do an anime review. We'll figure something out. So then the other days are all going to be days that I use for offline gaming, /filming, /doing research, /spending time with my family. So that's all that I had for announcements, at least. Yeah, I think that was it. Like the video if you liked the video. Comment if you had any questions or if you wanted to input your own opinion. I don't care if it differs from mine. I will not flame you, even if you say everything I'm saying is wrong. I want to hear your opinions. I want to hear what you think. That's why I started my One Piece videos / started uploading YouTube videos for One Piece, was because I wanted to be able to actually hear the small person's view. I was tired of going on pages and getting buried underneath all the larger people who post one funny comment, and that's what everybody likes, so you never get to see yours, the poster never sees yours, and the speculation just never gets talked about. And then later you find out you were right, and you were like, well, why didn't you make a video about this? You could have made a video about this, but you didn't because you didn't see my thing, and I just got tired of that happening. So I made my own, and I want to share opinions. So I didn't get any this time, but if you have a speculation or a theory that you want talked about, send it in, put it in the comments, put it to me on Twitter, however you can do it. I don't care. Send it to me, and I will talk about it the next chapter. And just have an amazing day, and make sure to read the official release. That's one thing I want to also start saying. Read the official release on Monday. The wording is sometimes changed. It changes things. It is $1.99 a month to have it. Read the official release. Bye.